afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're tuned in. We are so honored to have you this evening and really appreciate that you could make the time to join us. Today, we are discussing social media for business. This is so exciting because COVID has taught us that social media is a tool that we can actually leverage on, and not only social media, not only COVID, but I'm sure this has skyrocketed. My name is Grace Nzula. I am a trainer and HR consultant with Atara Solutions, a training and HR consulting firm, and a manager at Panesa's Training Institute, a carpentry school. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a platform where we demystify issues to do with entrepreneurship and employment. For those joining us today, we've been doing this for a while. We are in partnership with Zalego Academy, a software development and capacity building center. If you're looking for a software solutions for your organizations, please talk to Zalego. If you have a child, sister, or brother, or anyone, friend, who is looking to excel in the ICT field, then you should get in touch with them. They actually have an upcoming intake this November. Please do not be left out. Check them out on all social medias at Zalego Academy. That is Zalego Academy. The logo is on your screen. This is our 15th webinar. Oh my God, this is so exciting. We started with how to register your business legally. And last week we were discussing money matters. You retired when you started working. If you missed any of our webinars, please visit Atara Solutions YouTube channel to catch up. And while at it, kindly subscribe. Next month, we kick off with addressing issues with which a lot of people don't like speaking about, or in my opinion, it has not been explored. And we shall be discussing matters to do with family-owned businesses. All of us who are entrepreneurs are one day going to invite our families to work with us. We have either working with our brothers and sisters, cousins. Some of us are already working in family-owned businesses. So we are going to tackle issues that affect family-owned businesses. As always, let me remind you why Get It Right with Atara Solutions was started. Did you know that 22% of businesses fail in the first year, 30% in the second year, and 50% in the fifth year? 70% do not see their 10th anniversary. And this is very sad, and that is why we are trying to discuss these issues, because these numbers cannot remain the same. Social media has revolutionized how individuals and communities and organizations create, share, and consume information. As it turns out on some research done in 2019, 88.5% of the 88.5% of the Kenyans are on Facebook. Those ones who the research was based on. 88.6% of Kenyans are on WhatsApp. 51.2% actually use YouTube. 39% use Instagram. If you know what networking means, you know these are numbers you cannot joke around with. I am so excited to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Alex Mwai. He's the most passionate digital strategist I know, especially providing online solutions for businesses and especially for SMEs. He has trained over 617 SMEs on how to use social media, on how to find their way through the digital space. He is, by the way, did you know that there's something called a Facebook Blueprint certified trainer? As in, he's certified to train on Facebook. That was exciting, Alex, I must admit. We invite you, our audience, to ask as many questions and we will answer as many as we can. So Alex, tell us, how do we use social media to close sales? Because we just don't want to have a name out there. We want to convert it into sales. Tell us.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction and this opportunity, Grace. Definitely, you have done a very good introduction and welcomed me to the show. I've been tuning in. I tuned in for one or two of them, but I was able to catch some of them as repeats on your YouTube channel, which I was very appreciative for. To also learn, like I started retiring when I started working, meaning started now just working and doing this for people, and you already tell me I'm retired. So it's definitely been insightful. Thank you for the opportunity. And I think maybe how I'd like to take this is definitely just do a small presentation, then bring in the questions from our audience. And they should feel as free as possible to ask whatever they want. I'm seeing on the chat, there's already one question, but if we could use the Q&A, maybe just to drop in some of the questions to at least so that they have order, because in the chat, maybe sometimes you're sending in some, I'm seeing like a few audiences are saying we're locked, good evening, and etc. So yeah, so I can be able to follow them consistently. And with that, maybe without further ado, if you allow me, I'll just share my screen and we can kick it off. Grace, as well, if you have a question yourself, I know because you've also been using social media, you can ask me, how can I make these people who are joining this webinar become 10 times more? Feel free to also ask, sure.
Definitely, you have to answer that.
Okay, so let's dig in and just begin from using social media to grow and close sales. My name is Alex Mwai, as I've presented before. I am the creative director of Archer Digital, and I am a digital strategist, meaning that I help small businesses, big businesses, any sort of businesses really strategize and understand how digital can patch into their business and help it on the long term. As an introduction, our company is a humble team of designers, photographers. So we've brought together a team that can offer holistic digitization services. And what we mean by that is if there's anything you're thinking about, if a business is going digital from, commerce, if you want to then improve how you do maybe online sales, if you want to improve how you do advertising and marketing, if you want to do how you broadcast and communicate with your audiences, all that kind of thing. We've brought together a team that of young professionals who are able to bring all these competencies and help small businesses. I myself am a passionate marketer, as you said. I love the art of what digital can bring to businesses. I've been in this industry, say 9 years now, and when you say 9 years, yes. Just thinking about from the day and age when online platforms are launching, from Facebook, we were in the game just trying to tell businesses that one day this Facebook platform is where you'll be posting and your customers will be coming in. So we've been able to, just as a hustle and all the way has progressed into a whole business that we run up to date. All right. And I say together with my team, we make the world a more digital place. So let's begin with how digital and how it's impacted businesses of today. I'm sure they have become, I think the technologies, social media, they're very transformative and has disrupted the power shift that existed before. What I mean by the power shift is that you maybe started a business in the 80s or 70s, if we have some audience who are here. The power was really to you to tell the audience. They were to listen. It was a one-way conversation. I am selling this software. You have to buy, you just listen. I don't, there's not a lot of input that I can put back and give feedback and ask questions and demand things. But the biggest impact of digital is that it has brought a lot of power to the consumer, meaning that a consumer wants to bank, wherever they are. They don't want to queue to a bank. They want to do buying and see the property that you have without coming all the way to a property visit. Entertainment, even dating has even moved online. So the biggest effects for businesses has been that consumers are having a stronger voice. They're expecting transparency. They're asking you, how I want to see the school. Where is it online? Can I see reviews? What have you done before? There's a lot of transparency being demanded than never before. Consumers are also expecting the highest standard of customer service. They're sending you queries and they expect quick response times. They are asking you so much. They're asking a lot of your business and expecting a high standard of customer service. And customers now evaluate the options more than ever. I think a long time ago when we wanted to choose maybe even a bus or a ticket even to go, maybe take a flight. My mom told me the story where she took her mom to India for treatment when I was very young. She said there was not a lot of people who knew how to get tickets, where you'd get them. So the consumer didn't really know. If you're told the price is this, you're like, okay, I don't know anybody else who can tell me what the other price is. But now consumers are like, hey, if you tell me it's 50K, I'm going to look at another place and they're telling me it's 40K. Why is yours 50K, mine 40K, etc. And customers now evaluate options, and it has created opportunities for businesses to specifically target relevant audiences, meaning that for you as a business, you no longer have to spend as much as, as a billboard in order to reach people from Mombasa Road or you don't etc. So it has created opportunities for you as a business owner to be able to reach and target relevant audiences. And I guess that's why we are here today, to view how social media, you can use it to really target and close some of the sales that you're looking for. And in order to understand how to close sales, you really need to understand who the customer is and how they're moving along. So usually use this small customer journey map to help businesses understand that you are no longer the center of your own business. The center of your business is now the customer, and the customer moves in this sort of circle. The customer, number one, becomes aware of your solution. They hear of Atara solutions, they hear of the Lego. They hear, it could be word of mouth, it could be somebody who has said, it could be they've seen some advertisements on Facebook, they've seen your page, etc. So they've heard about you for the first time, which is what we call awareness. They jump in to quickly do what everybody does. What is the Lego Academy? Who is Alex Mwai? They Google, they look for you on their Facebook pages, they try and find your LinkedIn. So they're searching to find an answer. They're searching to find an answer around your business and what you offer. Thirdly, they move on to consideration. In consideration, we usually say that the person is reviewing you, the way you also present yourself. If I'm going to a meeting, the first thing, or if I'm going to even meet, for example, if we get the opportunity to meet a president, the first thing that you would consider is, what would I wear? How do I want to be perceived? So the same is what the customer is doing to you through the online channels, through your social media. They're like, what is this business doing? Are they valid? Are they true? So they're considering you. They're reviewing a lot of things from reviews, social media, your blogs, your social media, and etc. So they're considering your business and saying, let me see if I can work with these guys. Then fourthly, they jump into purchase, where we all hope our customer moves to. From knowing about you to buying, we really want our customer to move to purchase. So our consumer also still wants convenience. I think that's why there's M-Pesa, there's pay bills. There's a lot of things around convenience and purchase that can be factored in here to help your customer have a good experience. Then digital really gives you the benefit of having 5 and 6 really easily, in that you want your customer, once they buy, you don't want to then lose them. You want them to become a loyal customer. You want them to always come back to your webinar. You always want them to buy your product. You always want you to be the point of concern. And if you've really moved your customer from point 1 to 4, that is the biggest investment. The rest, these other 2, you can do very affordably to make sure that you don't lose that customer. So if you've, like, the awareness journey or somebody considering to buy is really the hardest position of your business. Once they buy, you should, and many business owners have not considered these last 2 aspects. How can you ensure that they remain loyal? Is it customer service? Do you just keep them updated through your social media, telling them you're still being the ones giving you the best offers, you're still the ones giving you the best kind of content in this and that? So in order to build loyalty, I think that's why, Grace, some people have tuned into your webinars from day one, because they saw, wow, I have become aware of this webinar. It's become very useful in my life. I now want to become loyal and understand how I can work and join this webinar over and over. Then you want them to become advocates, where they word of mouth for your business, where they say, I think I like this webinars that you're doing. I think I like your product. And this they can do by reviews. They're doing by a few things here and there. So for you as a business owner, that's an opportunity as well, because the advocate really helps sell. We always say referral is the best method, but do you know customers are referring you even just by giving you a review? Because when I come into consideration, I'll just read what this customer who's advocating for you, I've never seen them, I don't know them, but you've given them such a good recommendation that I want to buy from them. How do you create engaging connections? I think this is one of the questions that I'd already seen, is that using social, this is really where you're trying to build engaging connections for your business. You want more and more people to use social media to say, wow, I really want to follow Atara Solutions. I'll be getting the best type of information from industry experts. I really want to follow the Lego because they're giving me this and that. I'm seeing about software engineering, etc. So how do you create engaging connections on that digital channel? You, number one, at least have to have the digital channels themselves. So you have to have the Facebook pages, you have to have the Instagram, you have to have the Twitter pages in order for your business, as we've had Atara is sometimes posting this and that. Even me as a business owner, I want my business to be constantly having an online presence that is working. Even our website that's giving up enough information to to the customer wants to buy. so that they, when they move through the cycle of consideration, they're like, wow, okay, I think I like what Archer Digital is doing. I think I like what Zalego is doing. Secondly, you can keep your online communication platforms active, which is, having your social media as active as possible, giving it a few, giving it an investment of thinking about what should we post around our products and services, what should we speak about, how can we really, if I was, and I like this analogy where I say social media is really a person. It's an online footprint that communicates just as strongly as you. If you're going to a meeting, it's the same way your online presence is going to a meeting for you. If you are marketing, you want to not only market. If I was meeting Grace every day, imagine Grace, I can't tell you every day, hi Grace, I've just started with hi, and then I just tell you about the products and services I offer on a day-to-day basis. I've not talked to you about anything else. I've never seen and asked about your needs or anything. So an online presence is not, it's more than saying, I want to make a sale, true, but I can't be posting, I have this phone 10,000, I have this other phone 10,000, etc. So thirdly is investing in your online image. I think reputation is also one of the biggest things. How do you look online? Be authentic, and creating a brand voice or persona then is personifying your brand. And personifying your brand is really the way of saying, make it a connection that people will follow and engage with beyond the product or service, so that instead of always comparing your business with the other, because you're just posting price and I'm posting price, they can say, wow, I really love Archer, or I really love Atara, because they bring in genuine and relevant products. You can always speak about the highlights of your brand. And then create content people want to see, like Grace is doing here today. Very commendable. People want to understand, how do I open a business? So in the end, I know, Grace, this is also a funnel for you. People attend these webinars and they say, definitely, I think for me, I want this coaching engagement. I want to understand how my business can be structured, because people want to see the content, understand what you would be offering before they start engaging with you. And then define your target audience and use ads to reach them. So if you want people to buy from your product or from your business, you cannot just sit comfortably and say, hey, I'll just hope they stumble onto our Facebook page. I hope they just stumble onto our Twitter, etc. You just have to define somebody who you want and then start using ads to reach them. Then almost in my conclusion is huge mistakes when people start thinking of social media in order to close sales. Number one is, the hugest mistake is that they create a platform, and then in the examples that you see here, just to put your mind in the space of, stop thinking as social media as just something online. It's the way you see this is a storefront. Online, it could give you the same capacity as a storefront that you're opening. So number one, most people open a social media, then they say, I've opened my Facebook page. And then you leave it unposted, you leave it, unattended. People ask comments. A whole month, you've not come online to check if there's anything going on. You've not come online to post. So you're really leaving your store, your physical your online store, closed. So people won't really, I wouldn't believe a store that I'm coming in every day and I pass by and I'm saying, it's closed, it's closed. And then all of a sudden you're telling me, buy a product worth 10,000 etc. I won't be able to be in that point of consideration. Another mistake is that we leave our online store looking messy. As you can see, the next one is that sometimes we don't prompt our customers to give us good reviews. So you've served 100 customers, they've never given you a review, but there's one customer you just made one mistake. And they gave you the worst review, and you just leave it without unattended. You don't address the issue. You don't tell the customer, how could we have done better, etc., or even just address the problem that happened. So sometimes when we create those online presences, our social media, we make mistakes in that we assume just because they're online, we can leave them unattended, we can leave them closed, we can live without posting and keeping relevant information on those pages. So that's how you present to the consumer. This is how you're looking at online. But a good investment in digital is thinking about, if I was to really position my brand the same way I would physically, I've chosen this mall, I've chosen to go to Two Rivers or whatever mall, and I've created such a beautiful storefront. Would I then leave it for 5 days without opening? Would I then, if a customer walks in, not even smile at them and tell them welcome? You just wait, they post, they ask you how much, and you leave them unattended. So investing in digital really is just putting your mindset in that these social media tools are just there for you to represent your business strongly, just the way you would on an offline platform, and then constantly using them to improve your brand rapport. And really what I mean by that is that the more your online presence grows, no one can take it away from you. You know, just unlike a storefront, when I say, let me, you know, I can't afford to pay rent this month, you know, it will go. But the online footprint, as you grow it, as you're growing it, you grow 5,000, 10,000 connections, etc. Those people are there for, you know, because you've grown them to attend to to listen to your brand and etc. So what you won't do is abandon them, but nobody will ever be charging you to keep them engaged and retained. And then finally, I will not speak deeply so much into this, but definitely 6 factors of considering a successful online presence, from your Facebook page to your marketing to your etc, is really to consider 6 aspects. Number 1 is reviewing your reach. How many people are you reaching on a day-to-day basis with your posts and etc. Your architecture, reviewing what platforms can help you. You know, are we on LinkedIn? Are we on Facebook? What platforms will be able to help my business grow in order to succeed on that online presence. Then the content then focuses on, you know, what can I do really? What kind of photos, you know, I want to also represent my brand well. So if I have products and services, how can I make sure that the content that I'm posting around the same are good, so that the customer can really believe and you know, have consideration from my products? And then make sure that once you review all this, you want your customers to convert. Are you doing sales? Are you making sure that you have targets for your social media presence and ways to achieve them? Then integrating your technology, because a big factor of digital marketing is just technology around, you know, if we are channeling a lot of sales or channeling a lot of input to try and use our social media to close, what kind of technology can we integrate to make sure each customer is getting the best kind of interaction with us? So that's factoring in small things like customer relationship management software, something that can help manage all your, you know, leads, conversations, and etc. Then measuring and reviewing how that impacts your business on a day-to-day basis. This is okay. So taking on digital marketing as well is not only as you've seen, there's a few factors to consider rather than the, you know, just posting and hoping that customers come online. There's a lot of factors to consider. And first of all is that, why do you have to take it on now? Other than Corona, obviously, there's people are spending much more time on social media than ever before, meaning that time more and more people are spending on their phone to check out their Facebook, to check out their Instagram, check out their LinkedIn. Is the position for you to slip in your brand and say, as they check that out, they can come online and see my business. They can come online and see the offers I have. I can post on WhatsApp, etc. So you can use the platforms, as people are spending much more time there, to grab their attention there in order to convert more sales. Another factor is that the median age of Kenya is now 20.1 years. And this is largely mirrored across Africa, meaning your potential customer is younger and younger by the day. Even as you sell your, you know, brands start by saying, oh, no, you know, sometimes social media doesn't work for me. You know, I'm selling high-end luxury cars, etc. But the audience that's going to buy those luxury cars is also still becoming more and more adapt to these technologies as they grow old. I was also, when I started using social media, a very young person. But now when I followed a few pages and I wanted to buy things, I always went back to the pages that I've always believed in, because I've trusted the things they've been doing and they've been sharing, and I've seen their reviews, etc. So there's also the factor that as a business owner, you cannot ignore the largest segment of the market, even though you sell to a very niche factor. You know, they're the ones recommending, they're the ones even becoming influencers of the solution. So for example, if I am buying a luxury, or if I am not in a position to buy a luxury car, I'm the one telling my mother, yeah, or my father or my parent, or, you know, I'm the one consulting and telling them, no, don't buy that Mercedes. You know, there's this Mercedes other one that I know from this dealer. I've seen the post and it's really good and they have good reviews. They're the ones influencing and the ones knowing, even to that end consumer who you say is not your primary consumer. They're the ones telling them, hey, I think you should do this and this and this. And they're always informed. Like I always, if my mom wants anything, I know she always comes to me. She's like, hey, and I tell her, like, I can get it online, because she used to have that process of always going to a store, have that process of always going to town and try and find it. But now she's like, oh, you can just send you something and then send her back a contact, and that contact becomes a contact for life because, you know, it's been seamless. You know, she doesn't want headaches, she doesn't want all that kind of thing. So anyway, digital works off data as well, that shows you results and failures so teams can adjust in real time. So in that you can understand, I've made mistakes here and there, you know, I've made a typo. If you've printed a billboard or even a brochure before and you realize that we put the wrong number on the brochure at the end, you've already printed 1,000 copies. You can't start rubbing them with a marker pen and saying, now we have to change this. But in social media or digital technologies, you just see, oh, this is not working so well. I've spent 200 bob and I'm seeing it's not worked so well. So how do I shift and adapt that? It's that the data is telling you and you can review and analyze so you can adjust in real time. And then, as I'd said, it's building an audience base that you can retain with the long term in order to have significant return on investment. So you've spent very significant, not even a lot to build a platform where you can sell and you have 10,000 followers. I saw Atara has now almost 300 YouTube subscribers. You know, those ones are now seeing, they're the ones who are getting the bell and being told, hey, the video is out, now you can watch it. Grace is never paying for them anymore. She actually, you know, maybe she paid for a few people to join the webinars, etc., but now she's retaining them. She's retaining that customer list and so on and so on. And then finally is why us or why a team, you know, because sometimes it definitely requires expertise across the board to fuel a good online plan. So sometimes you need a website here, you know, I've started this, you need a website. All of a sudden, you still need to do your social media, you still need to do video, you still need to do photo. So there's a few technical capabilities that come together in order to serve the customer well or to have a good online presence. It's not to say that one person can't do it. They can, but they are at the highest level of expertise. So for example, me, I actually do, let me see, from this list, I do strategy, sometimes I shoot videos or sometimes I shoot photos, but I'm not also the best. So I do in support of my team. So I also do analysis, but I don't do a lot of techie stuff. So techie stuff would then see Zalego, you know, he's seen doing software development. So mixing a team helps it better output. And sometimes people think that it becomes more expensive, but it's more expensive not to implement a team. Because the more you invest in learning all these things, it's taken a whole year before you started your own online presence. You've tried here and put some money into ads and it's not working. So that downturn, there's another business that's already coming up and being trusted better than yours. So how can you want to review this and say, if I was building a house, you know, either way, I would not choose, you know, one contractor and tell him, you do engineering, architecture and everything. Yet this guy says, minim tu amjengo, minim tu mkono. Then you leave them and say, hey, we utajua tu. This would then cost you a lot in the long term. But finally, team works coherently as well. And then uniquely and affordably priced teams, for example, ours, is that we've understood what is needed to align outputs to avoid a lot of ununderstandable fees. And that's it. That's the presentation. I hope I've not taken so much time. Now I'll be able to answer many, many, many questions. Thanks. All right. I've seen some questions in the chat. Grace,
Alex,
sure. Yes.
Alex, the poll?
Oh, wow. Sorry. Let me, okay. I forgot about that. Let me launch one poll. So how do I launch this? All right. I'm launching two polls. Is it two polls or one? Okay, yeah, let that on this tell us, you know, have you ever closed significant sales using social media? Just tell us, you know, have you ever used social media for yourself to say, I'm running a business and I want to close sales, I want to do business. Yes, I continuously do means that you've tried using the social media channels and they've brought you some success. Maybe if you answer yes, you can give us a few pointers and I'll be able to also guide the same. So yes is also, but it has slowed down. No, I don't think it can work ever for my business, etc. And then there's another poll. Have you ever taken time to factor in your online presence as a strategical tool in your business? Meaning that, have you ever said, I should, you know, think of this as something just like operations, just like finance. You know, I would not run a business if I don't know where I'm getting my next paycheck or my salary or my next employees is etc. So have you ever really taken the time to say, as part of my marketing, can I really consider social media and say, or even digital channels and say, I want to definitely patch this into what we do. So we can watch that at the poll and maybe Grace can give us some pointers on what she's been doing right, because I'm seeing a lot of participants who joined this webinar.
What
You
have
can
I
tell
been
us what
doing
you've
right?
been doing right, Grace.
I think I have not closed shop.
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure.
indicated. Yes.
I always see posts. You even post some memes. I love it. Yeah.
Yes, we've kept our shop open, and I think consistency is also very, very important.
Yeah.
So that then your audience is kept in the know. And also, I think being relevant also
Yeah.
works. Yeah,
Okay.
because some people would like to. There's some things that don't appeal to a lot of people, and there's some that actually do. So you have to have a balance in all of them. Yeah, and probably the one thing I would like to ask is, I have had a lot of people who ask, why should I keep? Okay, it's most of the businesses have an online presence, but they are not converting into sales. What is the problem exactly? Like, yeah, the
Okay.
conversion part.
Lovely question. Definitely, the conversion part also plays on a few factors. Seemingly that some people think that those what are those called? I forgot the name, but there are some metrics that people see. You know, my page has 10,000 likes. Why don't I have 10,000 customers from there? etc. So there's factors that we consider that businesses most times have not considered. How do I strategize and say, instead of getting 10,000 likes, I just want, from this advertisement, I want to get one customer to buy. I want 10 customers. So a lot of people have not, I think the three key factors I've always seen is that the skill set of applying, strategy to it is one of the biggest. And I think that's why I threw in the question in the poll. Actually, I'd love to see how that is going. Around, have you ever taken the time to factor in your online presence as a strategical tool?
Yes.
Is that sometimes most people you will see is, no, we do it ad hoc, is because they're like, oh, see, it's just Facebook. See, I just post the product. I've brought in a kids toys, and then I just put them there. And then I hope somebody will buy. So a lot of sometimes it's not considering it strategical as, using the platform to always say that I want to reach my target customer. And also the expertise to do it. Because if this webinar, if I converted it into a training on how to do Facebook or how to do Instagram, etc., it would be an intense training, and most people would leave here like, wow, so this is really the power of the platforms. So we do that in the Boosted Facebook program, and we've done it over, I don't know if any of our participants have ever attended the Boosted Facebook program that was running over in conjunction with Wild and Facebook, Wild International. Yeah. So it's a program that we train entrepreneurs and business owners to do Facebook, Instagram, and all those kind of things. And when they leave those sessions, they're like, wow, I just used to post. I just used to write, I have a product. Right. Well, your customer needs more than that. They need you to really consider your online presence, just like a human being, say, I need to post frequently. I need to have the right answers to my customers. I need to make them laugh. I need to have deeper connections, so that once I get you, Grace, you're like, I love the Legos post. I'm like, they're so informative. I feel like and then especially around our business, it's usually expertise. So sometimes we have our own online presence, such a digital, on all socials, and we usually post and just share around our expertise. How do we train? How do we do posts? How do we shoot video? Because at that point, that's when the customer is like, I really trust these people to do this, because they constantly do it for many people. It's seamless. So most times our businesses are not factoring in that. How can I make the best out of this social by doing the right kind of things?
Okay. And then now my final question before we take in from the audience. I've seen people like lawyers struggle with what to put online.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they have the struggle of, what do I put online that doesn't make me look like I am not serious?
Yeah, for sure.
How can such professionals then make use of social media?
And many professionals maybe are joining us here today. Especially you yourself as well as an individual. I think the best thing is like always positioning yourself as an industry leader. So by industry leader is, are you up to date with what is relevant? And when you shared, like, for example, I've taken the Boosted Facebook blueprints, trainings. How do you keep on telling them what this is? How can they benefit? How can I share articles? And there's just so many resources around sharing your industry expertise, while also just making your brand personable. So other than industry expertise, and even for if we take our business as an example, we do digital marketing. There's not a lot of to post. How do we do strategy? There's not a lot of things that you can post and think about really if you're very conservative. But if you say maybe one day I'll be posting how, behind the scenes of how we do things. So you can even post today we are out and about in the law courts. We are doing an online court meeting now. That's how it's going, etc. Positioning yourself as an online professional means that the post that you have is balancing a metric of how am I relatable, and then how am I an expert? How can I consider that I know these things? Because we are sitting on so much knowledge in our minds as experts, as business people, that we can definitely share. So if you're not in the product business, we can do, I think those are my best tips.
Okay, all right. So we can actually take our first question from Susan, who asked, my partner and I have been trying to use Facebook to advertise our garage business in Kikuyu. What is this that we are required, or what is this that we are required to do to make our page attractive, catchy, and likable?
All right, so thanks. That's a good question, number one. They're in the garage business for sure. So I think content that is likable, attractive, and catchy is what the audience would relate with. Is even sharing what actually, also a business. I think marketing and advertising also is a function of business. So you have to value proposition your business well enough to say that, as our garage, what we really pride ourselves on is good customer service, number one, good output, trust, and convenience. And then now, if you want to make your page more catchy or attractive to that, you just share the strengths of your business. So what's that? If a customer then believes it's the customer experience, we say this customer's car, day one, it came, imegongwa hapa mbele. Day 2, 3, it's out and it's already ready for pickup. That makes it more catchy and likable, because I'm like, oh wow, mi nikipeleka kwa ule mtu wangu wa garage inachukua 10 days kuweka bulb. It's making that customer feel, sharing and making them around the value propositions of your business. Saying, even if I am procuring, items, home items, there might be 10 other competitors, but what does it mean to me is that I'm always factoring in maybe things that are really useful, best quality, and even giving you advice how this can work in your home. So I'm like, oh, all right, I like this, guys, because I didn't know I need a toothbrush holder, because I've apparently been putting my toothbrush in a dusty place and maybe cockroaches might find it, So sometimes it's just giving the approach that somebody will be like, wow, I think they're always informative, helpful, etc. And then bringing in the value propositions of their business. Because we say even a bad product even well marketed is still a bad product. If I'm selling a broken cup, it's dripping. I'm like, wow, look at this cup. It's so nice. In the end, everybody is just seeing it's dripping. So yeah, bring the value propositions of your business, make them strong, and constantly still push that message to your audience.
Yeah. Okay. How can we convert the people who've been reached by our post to be part of our clients? I think we've covered that.
Yeah, partly you could say you just make better connections, make sure that they see the value of your business, and then always, also prompting people with, sometimes you can do a promo, you can tell people, bring in something, and our online fans, we really appreciate you. Just showing these people that following us is going to give you benefit, then give them actual benefit, so that you can start converting 1, 2, 3, and especially like a garage, you just need one customer to come, then 2, then your customer let watu wengine.
Yeah. Excellent. And then she also asked, what is the effect if we choose to boost our page at an extra cost? Would it be of any value addition?
For sure. I think we all create our pages and our social media presences from nowhere. So I've started alexmwai.com or whatever, and I've started as a Facebook page. It has nobody that likes it currently. I start inviting my friends and family. So initially we all start with a few connections that are 100 likes, 1,000 likes, that are mainly even not our target audience. And somebody was saying this, like initially I started my page and then only my friends and family are liking, but they never buy. And I wanted to reach people beyond that. So that's really the function of doing advertising on the platforms, is that once I spend a little, I can say, if I'm a garage, instead of, I've invited a lot of my friends and family, but maybe even I was a young person, all my friends and family are around 18 to 25, etc. So they don't even have cars. But my target audience is at a certain age, at a certain group, even location, because maybe even if they're in Kikuyu, they can then do ads that are targeting people who live in Kikuyu, people who frequent Kikuyu, etc. So that they give you, the advertising is now more targeted. It's like saying, how can I advertise my business? So I print brochures, then I start distributing on Kikuyu Road, etc. So it's the same thing. You use the platforms, do some advertising, target your audience really well, and say, I want to reach these people because potentially they're the ones who are going to buy. And now the platform gives you that function.
Excellent. And then would it make a difference if once in a while we engage a blogger to advertise on our behalf? And then let me add an influencer on that.
Okay, sure, definitely. There are many factors to consider before you move to that angle. In that, for example, if you even hire a blogger or an influencer, yet your brand is not well positioned online, and by well positioned, it means that haijavaa suti kama wewe ukienda meeting. It's helter skelter. It doesn't have a way to be contacted. You still expect that people will call. You've not set up really all the things that are gonna make that customer. In the end, they say, wow, I really love this. This blog has been written really well around the garage and to reach this garage. For sure, if you don't have the things ready and looking nice, that's where the consideration is coming. If I don't have at least some good reviews, I don't move, even me, for example, I don't move garages that easily. I want to be assured if I move, I'm going to be like, oh, these guys are good. These guys are, even from their post, they fixed cars like mine. I've seen that they're trustworthy. Everybody's giving them a good review and all those kind of things that we spoke around consideration. We need to improve those before you go into spending, because some of those options then spend a lot of money. If I want to use an influencer, they sometimes charge an arm and a leg, and you don't know if they'll really get you to convert. But when your business is ready for that stage, you'll actually just know it. It usually just comes and says, like we're already converting so many people, and I think we can jump onto this blog. And we've even identified like a car blogger who's doing great, because it will already be in the journey of, oh wow, what can we do more, instead of I'm just starting and I really want to jump the curve.
Murugi is asking, she had to text this one because she's on the road. How do you secure online clients from competition?
How do you secure online clients from competition? Okay, that could be in two ways. Maybe it's around the security of the data that you keep. For example, maybe a lot of clients fill in the data form in your website, and people, or an e-commerce platform. So that really focuses on security of the platforms and how you can ensure that the data between you and your client or your point of contact is not being infiltrated. So that's really a security issue around the technology you're using. And I think our guys from Zalego would tell you that it's a good software will be able to protect some of those things. But also, if you want to secure your online clients from competition, is now thinking of it as a marketing and advertising question, where we say, yes, I've been posting and a lot of people already like my page, but they come, how do I secure them? Is by what we were saying, have good marketing, have good communication. Because if I abandon my page for a whole month, these customers who are always tegemearing to see, were always reliable or depending on me to see what kind of new stock can they update in their households, or what kind of products, or how can I take my car to this garage, or what are they doing really? They then become like, oh, this thing is dead. Let me try and find another person I can follow who will keep me up to date. So by securing them is just making sure you retain them. The ones who we've already converted, remember our loyalty and advocacy, push more to tell them, thank you so much for your purchase. Would you mind giving us a review? What else can we help you with? And once the product reaches to them, did you really like it? Might there have been any, just have communication, because people really appreciate, they're really buying from another person. They're like, wow, okay, these guys are great. They're following up that I bought one cup. Okay, so I'll buy another cup, and then I'll be followed up and told, was it enjoyable? So it's really the customer experience you're offering is the best way to retain your customer at this point. They want convenience, they want as easy as possible. And yeah, so I think those are the main focuses.
And then how do you answer the price question online, but still give your clients the confidence with all the scammers? And I must point out that Murugi sells Isuzu cars.
Isuzu cars?
Is the trucks, yes.
Ah, nice. All right, all right. So those are great questions, and let me see from her position. Uh, so how do you answer the price questions? I mean, what are we really hiding in this day and age? If you're selling something at 3.9 million, even if it's an Isuzu, even if I call you Kando, I'll still tell you it's 3.9 million. There's nothing, there's nothing different I'll tell you. And
Uh-huh.
seemingly, as that's one of the biggest factors of consideration in this day and age. Many people are becoming more impatient to say, why should I really call you in order to know the price? Why should I text you? So you just tell me in front of these people. And we lose a lot of customers in that point of the decision. Yes, sometimes, for example, our service maybe is customized. We can't say that, oh, now to post for you on social media is 1,000. To do this is 2,000. Sometimes it's not very well defined because the needs are different. Make sure those people understand, even when you're not putting the price, is that, oh, there's a few customizations in this Isuzu that might make the price different. Do you need the top loader, whatever, all those things that might make the price different. But if it's just a factor of I'm selling a cup and another person is selling a cup, me, I'll just go to the next guy selling a cup who's telling me the price immediately. We're also losing a lot of people who are, if we're especially in the product business, if you're selling B2C, the customer who's really looking and like, oh, wow, cool, I really want to buy that. There's a huge percentage of them who never want to communicate. They want to see the price. They're like, I think this is in my budget. After if they go and window shop and find it somewhere else, cool. There's a fraction of us who are still saying, me, I've already found my solutions. Take Sumbuka Tena, I buy. So we don't want to lose even that fraction of people who are saying, so really, I think the price question is just be as transparent as possible if it's within transparency options.
Okay, okay. I think there is a and we are going to move faster now. Our time is running short.
Okay, I'll shorten my answers. I hope they jump into other questions that
Yeah,
will be.
I think Alex Gabriel is asking a very, very important question. Unless I am mistaken, the government has intention from next year to impose tax on online shop owners. What is your take on this?
To be honest, I'm a big supporter of tulipe ushuru tujitegemee because, what they mean by paying a tax is by if you have an online platform, you facilitate and you're making 1 billion, you're making 100 million off a website, you should at least pay something because even though you don't have a store or whatever, you actually have made a system that is working and you can be able to pay something and some that thereof. So what they mean is tax is not really a bad thing. They're not taxing you for the worst. They're just saying these platforms are facilitating growth and sales and they're really powering the economy. I think we can tap into it. I think it's 5%. How much was it? It's a very minimal percentage. That I felt that I think business owners should be comfortable. We pay corporate tax, we pay VAT, we pay, taxes are really how the business, our government can sustain itself. We stop borrowing a lot of money. That's my take on that.
Okay, Crispinas is asking, with a page of just 3.2 thousand, wow, 3.2K likes on Facebook. How do I drive up likes and convert them into clients? I'm in communication consultancy.
Okay. That's a great question. I think we had answered it partly in the other question saying that how do we...
Actually, Alex, if I may interrupt, there's also the same question from a HR person who is asking, how would you advise a HR professional to improve their brand online?
Okay, B2B leader, industry leader, like connections like this, obviously you want to continue positioning yourself. You have platforms like LinkedIn where you can connect and grow with other businesses. I could find a Tara and just tell them, hey, if you're looking for any digital services, we're the guys. And if we have our online presence really right, and we've proven ourselves as those experts, as we say, we are more considerable to our customers. So for me, I would take my example of a B2B business that I definitely want to reach more Atara solutions. I want to reach those HR solution guys. I want to reach B2C, but I definitely want to show these business owners, why should you go with Archer? So I continuously have to do a few of the same things that B2C guys have to do. You have to continue sharing your product and service. You want to position yourself as the industry leader and you want to constantly grow, just invite, if it's advertising, because ours is not really decided by if I see an ad, digital marketer, and then I decide, oh wow, buy. It's not that easy, but there's the growth of potentially my audience is of a certain age. I can use some of the platforms that are specific for even ourselves, like B2B platforms or event marketing platforms, to be able to connect and reach and then position ourselves better. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to jump on to Alex's question. Alex, how does one go about building a digital identity across all platforms?
Okay. Identity still follows the same. I don't think you become late personality when you go onto 5 different platforms. It's the same thing. I think I would recommend, if I'm a business owner, for example, as we do, or Atara would then say, I'm promoting this webinar, I'm promoting my services, my coaching services, etc. Across all platforms, I want the message to be consistent. Still, I want my voice to be consistent. Still, I want how people understand me to be consistent. So even when you're building your communities around, you have to factor in at least that the audiences might be different, but you want the audiences on whichever platform they get you to believe in you quickly. To be like, oh, wow, I think these guys are the guys. Yeah.
Okay. And then the same one, and I think this is very relevant because he's asking, how about a selection of different platforms for marketing different products? For example, would the reception of consultancy services receive the same reception on Instagram as it is on LinkedIn?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was saying you always go and review whatever you do as there's a platform for you specifically. If you are definitely, for example, B2C, you want to cast a huge net because you want to reach as many people with your product or service, because you can serve as many people. But there's B2B platforms like LinkedIn. So the reception of, for example, LinkedIn of, yeah, hi, I'm communicating and I'm following and I'm connecting with a lot of CEOs won't be the same as Instagram, where maybe a huge fraction of the people are more used, and you can't really tell, is this guy a CEO, is this guy what? You can't really define it completely, but you can still keep the message consistent in that if a CEO crosses and you cross over and you find one on Instagram, well, great for you, because once they do that connection, they might convert. But you have to focus on a primary platform. I always say for any primary platform, and say, for me, my business is definitely picking more on Instagram, on Facebook, because it's this and that, and then work hard on that one. The rest also just follow because you're doing the same kind of strategy, then trying to always improve however you can within your limits.
Okay. And then an anonymous attendee is asking, and I think one of my clients were discussing this today, are there products that are too technical and require customers to be assisted by the seller, hence not tradable through e-commerce?
Yeah, for sure. I was speaking to a business recently that sells a new type of, what is it? Like a new type of system for drainage. So really, they really need to meet the contractors and people who are doing building in order to explain to them this system is what. But factoring digital doesn't only factor in marketing using social channels. It also factors in how can I improve the way we present ourselves, the way we can also have answers quickly. For example, I told them, hey, okay, sure, you can't now market this easily on social media and tell people, hey, this new system is the best, because a lot of people are not making that decision quite. But you can factor in things like, if you're having a lead, maybe you can share with them a YouTube video that explains the system you have. Instead of always spending so much time to set up meetings with like 100 people, this YouTube video will help you simplify the process of that. You can tap into other assets of saying, even the leads that we are channeling, somebody told you we have put together a customer relationship management software that is able to keep track or even speak to, let me find all building contractors and start trying to build connections with them so that you can churn them. And it's not only thinking about marketing, it's also thinking about the processes around. Instead of always telling somebody to go onto the ground with a notebook and they write the contractor or place ni Alex. Then when they come back to the office, they never type that in. They were told to call him after 2 weeks, he'll be starting this project. They forgot, the project went.
Finish. Yeah. All right. We have 1 minute and we have 2 questions. So there's one question. What are the key information to include in your post to convince customers to choose you over others? And I think there's another one that Cornelius is asking. What factors should I consider in selecting appropriate platform to market my products? I think those are related. Because they're okay. Let me ask you the 3 questions pending. How often should you post stuff in your page without creating monotony? I think they're all related, which we can summarize because we need to take the poll again.
Okay, sure. All right, so number one, the first question was definitely how do you tag, the things that will help people buy. It's value propositioning in your captioning and what you can hammer down every day to the people who are following you. And as even you grow your audience, what do you tell them so that they believe you? We are trustworthy. It's hammering down those value propositions, as we're saying. We take the example of the garage. Just tell them we value customer service, we have great output, and you share that. You don't have to always write it in the post, but you can share. Day one, this came. Day three, the car is out. That's really saying that we put our customer in the center. Choosing platforms is also choosing what kind of business are you in. You always look at your target customer and say, hey, yeah, so they're at this age and they're at this what, and where can I find them the best? You might even find, for example, in the hospitality industry, instead of me saying, let me join Facebook, I can even join Airbnb, which is also almost like a network that you can connect with people who are already looking to buy. Yeah. So it's really factor in for your business, where you're going to find your target audience and which platforms offer that. And there are so many.
Excellent. Let's jump on the poll.
Okay, let's see the results of the poll from the people who voted.
Yeah.
And then I'll just do my closing or parting shot from this poll. Number one, have you ever closed significant sales using social media? Where people say there's 28% who are saying, let me share the results so that our audience can also see. They say that 28 are saying yes, and they continuously do. Congratulations, continue doing it. It will not slow down, hopefully. Yes, but it slowed down or stopped. So those people, I think maybe are the ones who closed, they were doing an online presence and then they let maybe somebody who was posting every day is the one who stopped, or they moved to another job. So they left that thing and abandoned it. When you come back, you're like, why? And nobody's looking at me anymore. So I think we should always factor in, how do we continuously use the platform seriously? Mm-hmm. And then no, but I think it has great potential. I hope from this webinar, all those no's will turn into yes, and think about it strongly in order to start churning out some business for you. No, I don't think social can work for my business. 5%, you guys will change soon. I'm telling you, the median age is 20.1. Soon enough, all your customers will be asking you via social media, why don't you have Facebook? Why don't you have this?
To support that answer, I can also add, people below 40 years to 21 are spending 3 hours a day on social media. Mm-hmm. That is a fact.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, they're really choosing their options online. The second question, have you taken the time to factor in your online presence as a strategical tool in your business? Yes, but I have not been able to designate. The first one was, it's a role very well defined in the organization and it's even budgeted for. Great, I'm seeing 28% of our audience are doing wonderful. Thank you so much. Continue doing that. Factor it in as part of your growth. And then, yes, but I've not been able to designate resources. Now I've just said that was our biggest fraction that was saying yes, but I've not been able to designate resources. Churn it out. Next year, tunaanza mwaka mpya. Just say, hey, New Year's resolution, I'll put 10,000, 20,000 for January, February. Wacha niache kukula nyama sana. Nijaribu tu kitu na hii. Then no, we do it ad hoc, just stop. And we've not considered it at all. Everybody now from no, we should just change the way we review it, because it's going to be a strategical tool going forward. It's the future of things. So you'll have to review it as, the way people add the department, finance departments. Now people are having serious social media departments. They are designated, even if it's just designated one. And yeah, so those are the results of the poll. And Grace, thanks for having me. I hope I've not taken so much of the time.
No, you've been excellent. And Monica is asking for us to share your contacts. We need a part 2. What you're going to do is, Alex made a presentation to all our listeners who are not able to join us from the start. He has a beautiful, beautiful presentation of everything he's discussed. We are going to share this with all of you, and his contacts will be there so you can get in touch. We are definitely bringing Alex back because, first of all, people don't even know how to set up Facebook for their businesses. We needed to understand the importance and then get to technical. I hope, Alex, you'll nini our call. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. This has been very, very insightful and informative. Thank you very much, Alex. We have really, really learned. Thank you for demystifying social media issues. Thank you, the Lego Academy, our IT partners. Please do not forget, they have a November intake for your ICT Solutions. If you need to learn about them, please get in touch with them. Special appreciation to Think Out Limited and Nyarero and Associates. These guys sit in the Atara Solutions board. Your input in the success of this program has made it a success. I can call it a success. I mean, you're number 15. Thank you very much, our audience, for tuning in. We wouldn't be here without you. It's always a pleasure. Please do not forget to tune in to Pearl Radio 96.9 FM in Nairobi. Again, Pearl Radio 96.9 FM in Nairobi. My name is Grace Nzula, trainer and HR consultant with Atara Solutions, and I have been your host. Please like our Facebook page, Atara Solutions. Follow us on Instagram, Atara Solutions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Atara Solutions. See you next week, same time, same place, as we look at family-owned businesses. This will be epic. From all of us, it's good night. Thank you.